very narrow range in the market, and the market can fluctuate pretty quickly. So when you see this, there is nothing wrong with just kind of sitting out and waiting. Now, especially right now, you see 3 red lights and a lot of reds recently. That gives you even more reason not to be buying stocks and just kind of waiting it out. So before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's take a look at why we have these reds. Well, the price of the VVC fell from yesterday and fell from last week. So it turned red compared to this yellow. Since it fell from last week, you'll notice over here in the trend column, the primary wave, or the primary trend, which is right here, turned down. And you can see over the past 2 days, it went from an up to a down. Now, this is the fastest timing signal that we've got. And in this narrow range that we've been in over the last basically 4 months and even almost 6 months, we've been pretty flat in the market, but especially over the last 4 months, this quick signal will change quite a bit. But right now it is down, and you don't want to trade against that. Now, to the right of the price column is the RT column. It is red also because it fell from yesterday and fell from last week, so it turned red compared to the yellow. And the buy to sell ratio remained red because it fell from yesterday and fell from last week. So everything's dropping. Over here at the MTI column, this looks at the underlying trend of the market. This is our master indicator on the market. It combines the trends of all 3 of these things into one master indicator. And if you look here, it has fallen back below 1, which indicates the underlying trend of the market is down, and that's why over here in the trend column, you see this? It went from ups to a down here. So now we have a down situation. The only thing that hasn't turned down is our most conservative signal, which is this confirmed call. That still says confirmed up, and in order for this to turn down, the price of the Vectress composite would have to fall for 2 consecutive weeks. And the earliest that could happen would be next week, basically 5 days after the 25th, which should be, I believe, Thursday. So let's take a look. Just look at my calendar here. Yep, would be the 2nd of July, right before the holiday weekend. So that'd be the soonest that we could get a confirmed down call. Now, I love to stay here on the Home tab and just scroll down and read the strategy box and get even more information on what's going on. Here in the strategy box, it states, the price of the Vectress composite fell 18 cents over the last 5 trading days, and the primary wave is down. Although summer is less than a week old, the market continued to trade in a lazy, narrow trading range. The only pricing pattern for weeks on end has been up and down. A stretch of yellow on the color guard has turned into a melange of red, yellow, and green. It's hard to make real money in this kind of market, so be patient. A tradable trend will develop sooner or later. With 3 red lights in a down situation, the color guard is bearish. Prudent investors should not buy stocks at this time. Aggressive investors and traders should play the market as it develops with a bias to the downside. So let's get a visual of what's going on. And let's take a look at the market timing graph. Come up here, click graphs. Come over here to market timing. The default look shows the VVC, the 3 indicators from the color guard. So if I take these off and we just look at price, so just by looking at price, this is what I was talking about. Look at this. Over the past 4 months, just basically up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. As it said in the strategy box, it's hard to make money like this, and based on the comments that I hear in our Q&A and in our coaching webinars, sometimes people get a little antsy and they're like, man, I'm not making money in this market, or it's tough to be making money, or I'm making a little bit of money, it's getting very frustrating. Yeah, when the market just moves sideways like this, it's tough. When the market's trending up, it's so easy to be making money, especially when you got VectorVest, because the market's going up and you've got great stocks to buy, and those stocks are taking off. When this is happening, it could get frustrating, but don't worry. As it said in the strategy box, a tradable trend will develop eventually, and sometimes you just got to wait for it. It's when you start pressing things that you start to make mistakes. Alright, so right now we're basically also coming off an area of resistance. So let's see if we can, instead of changing layouts, let's add technical analysis, support and resistance. Let's see. There we go. You can see we're still in this zone of resistance, like doosh, doosh, right in here of resistance, and it's pulling back. So that's not bullish at all. Now we're coming back down to a little area of minor support, but this is a big one down here. There's a good chance that this could come down and not stop here, maybe test out this area of support down here. And we've got to watch to see what happens when it gets down in this level, because it could just continue this pattern into the summer and bounce off of this and go back up. So let's watch to see what happens here. All right, so let's uncheck this. And if we just take a quick look at our other indicators, you can see the RT is moving lower, right here moving lower. The buy to sell ratio is below 1. It's really not been doing too much, but it's spending most of its time below 1. And the MTI as well just went back below 1, which is not a great sign. And even if we look at the technicals on the market, if we come over here to our enhanced pro trader timing layout, this gives us our DEW market timing signal, which is a nice intermediate signal. I mean, look at this. Look at all these signals over the past few months. That tells you the type of market we're in. Remember, we don't predict the market, we report on what's going on, and this is what's going on. So just let the market come to you. Just wait for a tradable trend. All right, so if I take off the envelopes, because the envelopes rarely come into play, we get signals when the price of the VVC crosses the 30-day weighted moving average and DPO either goes above or below 0. The last signal we had was a down signal, but it could turn back to up because we're very close. I mean, if I zoom in, I mean, look at this. We're very close to just, it could easily pop back up above this, and DPO could just easily pop above 0. So don't just go jumping in and start buying stocks when that happens. And I already talked about our confirmed call. We're just waiting. It could happen on Thursday next week. So most of our signals are down right now. So don't go out there and be buying stocks. All right, and you can get even, this is an average of 8,000 stocks. I mean, those of you who like to trade the S&P, if I put on the SPY, and let's just look at price here, take these other indicators off. Here's the SPY. That's even tighter for longer. Look at this. So the S&P really hasn't moved. And there's a lot of tradable and heavily traded stocks in there, and those aren't moving either. So just be patient, folks. All right, so let's go to the views and check out our guidance from Dr. Delito and what's going on for next week. So hit the views tab. This is our newsletter, keep you informed on what's going on in the market. Right up here at the top is our contact information. I'll scroll down. Here's our live events. You can see we've got some things planned out for the several months coming down the road. We do take July off, by the way. However, we don't take July off with our webcast. So if you see a webcast here that you'd like to join, go ahead and join there. We do have weekly Q&A sessions. Monday is a great Q&A session, which is a nice general Q&A. We start off by covering questions about the most recent special presentation that Friday, but it's really just a general open Q&A